When you think about Breath of the Wild, you think post-apocalyptic, barren, sad, tragic, and, judging by the sequel trailers we've gotten, dark. You don't too often think of bright, sunshine, and happiness. And yet, there were certainly a good amount of times where the game offered some levity, especially in terms of its music. So since I have been on a Breath of the Wild kick lately, having absolutely nothing to do with the impending sequel or anything like that, no way. Today, let's talk about Breath of the Wild's happiest and warmest pieces of music. Hey y'all, I'm the Geek Apprentice and welcome to yet another Breath of the Wild music ranking video. Recently, I discussed my top 10 favorite themes from Breath of the Wild in general, so after you finish watching this video, you can click here to see that one as well. But one thing I realized in the midst of writing that script was how many pieces from Breath of the Wild were sweet, calm, warm, or downright happy. And since the world can always use more happy, I figured, why not? Let's make a video on the subject. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I made a video a while back where I listed 10 of the happiest themes from the entire Zelda franchise, or at least the 3D games. Maybe included others, I don't remember. What can I say? I like Zelda, music, and happiness. Quick note before I get started, I will not be rediscussing or reusing any of the themes I talked about in my previous video about my 10 favorite pieces of music from Breath of the Wild in general. I tend to have a habit of rehashing the same thought process over and over again, whether it's the forest theme from Ocarina of Time, or the day or nighttime riding themes from Breath of the Wild. So I'm trying to avoid that for this video. So without further ado, here are the top 10, in my opinion, happiest pieces from Breath of the Wild in no particular order. From the moment you step into the village of Hateno, you feel safe. The carefree nature of the children running around, the adorable little houses and markets strewn throughout, the village itself being nestled toward the coast away from the chaos of central Hyrule, all of this echoed in its gentle but fun and folksy theme. Between the music, the NPCs, and the visuals of this village, you would never know you were exploring a post-apocalyptic Hyrule had this been your first introduction to Breath of the Wild world. A short but sweet little tune, the piece played behind the Rito sisters is such a nice step away from the terror that has engulfed the world around you. A family of singers they certainly are indeed, but their mischievous innocence is quite evident in this theme. Okay, there is no way you can put this piece on and not make me smile. So clearly a Goron theme in the heartiest way imaginable. It is thick with instruments befitting such a tribe of creatures like this. It's boisterous, it's fun, it's heavy, and fully encapsulates the fun but also hard-working nature of the Goron species. What's not to love about it? And even though it's not specifically Daruk's theme, I can picture him marching through Goron City with this theme at his backing. Alright, I cannot deny that this music does seem kind of out of place. Not for the situation, just the game itself. But I don't care. The Parasol minigame theme is a joy to listen to. In addition to being happy and fun, it actually boasts a few measures that are quite grand, and I adore every single moment of it. And people say Breath of the Wild has no decent music. Well, I defy them with this piece alone. When I was in the process of making this list, the Korok Forest theme was a non-negotiable. I mean, how could it not be in this video? Encountering the creatures that are the Koroks is already one of the most adorable experiences of the game. So the music of course would match that vibe. But the music isn't just cute. I would argue it's also enchanting. The place itself is quote-unquote enchanted in a sense, considering the foreboding nature of its surrounding area being littered with screaming trees and fog that easily sweeps you away. But at its center stands the cherry blossom old man Great Deku tree, who acts as the comforting father figure to these sweet but mischievous creatures. Now I'm kind of getting lost in my wording here, so in the end, this is a lovely piece that offers some of the levity that this game needs. The closest thing we will ever get to Hawaii in Zelda, Lorulian Village is everything most of us imagine a small tropical village to be. As someone who lives in swampy tropics, yeah, it's not like that. But I'm also not in a touristy area, so maybe Hawaii is actually like that in a lot of areas. But moving on. This music is absolutely lovely to listen to. Similar to Hateno Village, given the people and its location, you feel so incredibly safe here. Heck, it's so out of the way that I didn't even know it existed until someone said the name Lorulian Village and I tilted my head in confusion. I literally had to look it up because I still had not discovered it. And I had been playing for weeks at this point. Also note, I didn't buy the game until a good 10 months after its release, so it is shocking I didn't even know about its existence. It's not difficult to understand why this is a favorite among Breath of the Wild fans. The music is everything a locale like this should sound like. Everyone's favorite Rito, sorry Rivali, playing a tune that is probably in most players' top 10 favorite Breath of the Wild themes, Cass's theme. While I will concede it's incredibly repetitive, it's still a great tune. Of course, this piece is intrinsically tied to its player, whose part in the game is beyond fascinating to me. The amount of videos discussing and theorizing Cass's story and full history says it all, I think. You just know that when you hear this theme nearby, that you've got a wonderful side objective in store. Separate from the tune of the Korok Forest, the Great Deku Tree has his own unique theme that I love. Its simplicity, gentleness, but also its ability to evoke a grand sense of nostalgia, or at least a callback to something ancient. I know this piece is backing some storytelling, which of course influences its movements, but that doesn't change how lovely it is to listen to. I believe it's a saxophone being played a lot, please correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it's a clarinet, and to me that just seemed so different. I haven't really noticed a focus on that instrument before in this game, and I really like it. It's a very sweet piece to listen to all around. Okay, the diversity in the music of Breath of the Wild is unreal, and I don't think I truly noticed it until creating this list and finally getting to the themes for the ancient tech labs. Let's begin with Robbie's lab in Akkala. At first, I did not like this theme. I've never been fond of techno-funk music, but the more I played the game and explored the character of Robbie and his lab, the more I came to appreciate why this theme was crafted the way it was. It fits Robbie's personality so perfectly, that's for sure, and truly does make me happy to hear it in context of the game, the location, and its characters. Similar things could be said for the ancient laboratory of Hateno Village, which Purah occupies. While of course this theme shares some of the mechanical techno sounds and nuances of Robbie's lab, it has a distinctly childlike innocence with its other instrumentation, naturally trying to reflect Purah's youth gone wrong. There's actually less going on in her theme, I think, than Robbie's, but it's still fitting and quite nice to listen to. And here we have it. To finish out this list of happy themes from Breath of the Wild, we have the score for Tarrytown, the final product of Tarrytown. No contest, this is probably the best side quest in the game, and the reward is just so satisfying. A tiny little town filled with citizens from all over Hyrule, bringing their own traditions and cultures and goods together. And this is clearly reflected in the theme and its progressions too. As each new member of Tarrytown is collected, the theme changes to include little melodies, harmonies, and the instruments from that race's own home. You can hear the primary instrumentation from each town: Hateno Village, Goron City, Zora's Domain, Rito Village, and Gerudo City. Such a well done piece for a well done side quest. Even with a world as open and sparse in music as Breath of the Wild, I feel I could have easily filled another entire list with happy themes. But 10 was enough for one video, though I'm sure many of us could listen to and discuss these wonderful pieces for a great length of time. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider joining the Geekdom by subscribing, as we just passed 9,000 and I guess 10,000 is not out of the realm of possibility now. I've also been trying to stream more often, but you need to turn the notification bell on because it's kind of random and sometimes it still doesn't notify anyway. I don't understand how it works, just I guess be aware. I do like to stream sometimes. Animal Crossing, Kirby, Twilight Princess HD is one I'm working on right now, except I'm not. I've been doing only Animal Crossing. As always, thank you so much to all of my amazing channel members and patrons, especially those in the highly tier over on Patreon, Joking Batman, Code and Data, Trevor, and McToppler. But anyway, that is all for today. Thank you for watching.